Welcome to Core Moves Active Stretch and Recovery Day. So today we're going to do Pilates on the floor, and we're going to be on our hands and knees or our hands and feet quite a bit. So we're just going to warm up our wrists first and just talk about some modifications to keep our wrists nice and safe. So if you just want to come and sit comfortably on your knees or sit cross-legged, whatever feels good for you. And we're just going to start by reaching our right arm out in front of us and then tip your fingertips towards the floor. So you can first start by just actively pushing your fingers towards the floor. And then you can just gently pull on the palm to stretch this muscle up the inside of the arm a little bit more. Okay, and then if that feels comfortable for you, you can place your hand down on the floor close to your knees. And the further forward you move it, the more you're going to stretch through that lower arm. So you might be back here and that might be enough for you and you can just lean back a little bit, or you might be able to get them quite far forward and just tip those fingers back. Okay, so we're just doing the right to start with. And then we're going to pick the hand up and we're going to pull the fingertips towards us. So turn your palm so that it faces the floor, tip your fingers down towards the floor, and you can just flex the wrists forward and then gently push. When you're pushing, try and push just below the wrist joint, okay, so that you get the stretch in the muscles rather than at the knuckles, okay? You can press at the knuckles, but try and push at just below the wrist joint. And release. And then we're just going to do some circles inwards, just nice and gentle, especially if you have any wrist issues, and circles backwards. Good, and let's do the other hand. So reach it out. Actively push your fingers towards the floor, engaging the muscles, and then just gently pull on the palm and pull your fingertips towards you. And if that feels comfortable, place it on the floor, slide it closer towards your knees, and stretch down the inside edge of the arm. And then pick it up, turn the palm to face the floor, pull the fingertips towards the floor, and then push the hand towards the chest. Just below, I like to put my thumb on the inside of my palm while I pushed the top of the hand, the bottom, I guess, of the hand towards me. And that just gets that nice stretch in there. And then let's do some circles. And the other way. Good. And then place both hands on the floor in line with your knees and just lean forward. So we're bringing the body forward and then bringing the body backwards. When you lean forward, really push the fingertips into the floor and bringing it back. And you can curl your spine when you come back, and then forward and back, and then turn your palms so that your top of your hand is towards the floor, palms towards the ceiling, and sit back and bring it forward and sit it back. Only to the level that feels okay for your wrists. And then we're going to bring it up. Good. So circle both wrists again. And the other direction. Okay, so when we're on our hands and knees, you might want to have a towel handy that you can place under your knees if your floor is hard or your mat is thin, or you just got funny little knees. I've got a little bit of a burst on one knee from kneeling on my veggie patch all the time, so I might cushion up my knee. Also handy for placing underneath the heel of the hand, roll it up, put it under the heel of the hand, fingertips long in front and pushing those fingers to keep the angle of the wrist joint long. You can also do that by rolling up the edge of your mat, fingertips down, keeping the heel of the hand propped up. You can even do both of them together if you want, okay? Also, we can use this lovely little towel, roll it up and put it underneath our hip bones or our pubic bone when we're in our prone positions, okay? So if you don't have one, press pause, go grab yourself a towel because we're going to get started. I'm just going to have mine handy in the front of my mat, and we're going to start in our quadruped position, okay? So what that means is 4-point kneeling. We've got our knees directly under our hips. Now a lot of times people tend to send their hips behind the knees, so I want you to really focus on pushing the glutes forward so that your leg is perpendicular to the floor, okay? That way, our glutes are active rather than just being sat back like this and spreading the sit bones wide. So we want those glutes active, and then our hands are going to come directly underneath the shoulders. We're just going to warm up our shoulders to start with by doing some protraction and retraction. So you're going to do this on the floor, like this, with your arms straight, but I'm just going to show you what's happening. So, hands hands are underneath the shoulders. You're on that 4-point kneeling. Your hands are reaching towards the floor. You want to have your back nice and flat in a neutral position. The spine is long, the belly is pulled in. Now, keeping the arms completely straight, you're going to pull the medial borders of your shoulder blades closer together. So pinch the inside edge of your shoulder blades together. That's called retraction. As you exhale, go back to your neutral, so your scapula are flat on your back, and then push the shoulder blades away from each other, rounding that upper back a little bit into protraction. Inhaling, come back into your neutral, and then pass through your neutral into that retraction, keeping those elbows straight. Exhale, pass through your neutral, and to your protraction, pulling those shoulder blades wider apart. Again, inhale, elbows straight, sink that space or pull your sternum towards the floor. Keep your shoulders away from your ears, keep the belly connected. Exhale, push into the palms, pull the shoulder blades away from each other, engage the lats and the upper abdominals to find that nice widening across the shoulder blades. Inhale again, retract, sink between those shoulders. Don't just sink though, make it active. Use your rhomboids to pull those shoulder blades together. Exhale, push into the floor and protract. Good. Now let's just relax and come into a neutral position in our shoulders, and we're going to work on our pelvic position. So we're going to do some pelvic tilts. So we're going to inhale, we're going to tilt the pelvis forward into an extension. Then exhale, tuck the pelvis under into a flexion. Okay, then come back to your neutral. So in our neutral position, obviously it's harder when we're in this 4-point kneeling to gauge what our neutral is, but our ASIS and our pubic bone are on the same horizontal plane, okay? Same as our PSIS, yeah, and the sit bones will be about 5% lower. Okay, so you don't want to be totally tucked under, you don't want to be totally arched forward. So if you actually touch the bottom of your sit bones and your PSIS, then you'll see they're at about 5% inclined towards the back, okay? Basically, you want your spine to be nice and long and neutral. And when we do our pelvic tilts, we use our exhale breath to pull our ribs towards our hips and our hips towards our ribs, tucking our tail between our legs. Inhale, tilt the pelvis forward, keep the pubic bone lifted, keep the pelvic floor lifted as you come back into your neutral position. Exhale, tuck the pelvic floor under, tuck the tail, bring the ribs towards the hips and the hips towards the ribs. Inhale, lengthen back to that neutral. One more time. Exhale, tuck the tail under. Use a little bit of the glutes, but initiate it from those abdominals. So the ribs come to the hips to the ribs. Inhale, lengthen back to our neutral. We're going to take that to another level now by doing our cat-cow. So we'll start with our inhale and our extension. So as you inhale, anteriorly tilt the pelvis or tilt the pelvis forward, go past that neutral and then pull the spine away from the tail. So you want to feel like you're trying to stretch your spine out towards the front of the room, shining your sternum or the middle of your chest towards the opposite side of the room, and lifting the head away from the shoulders, and those shoulder blades are coming into retraction. As we exhale, we're going to tuck that tail under, scooping the abs, pulling the ribs to the hips, coming into that posterior tilt, and then pull the spine away from the floor, flexing the spine and looking between the thighs and really exaggerating that protraction in the shoulders. Inhale, tilt that pelvis forward, keep the upper spine rounded while we slowly articulate through. Pull the ribs away from the hips, lengthen the sternum, and stretch the spine out to the opposite side of the room. So this isn't a collapsing arch. It's a stretching and lengthening of the spine, retracting through those shoulders. Exhale, curl the tail under, scoop the abdominals, pull the belly up and in, and look between the thighs and protract the shoulders. Good. Inhale, come back into our neutral position. From here, we're going to start to warm up the shoulders and the legs. So we're going to go into our bird dog. We're going to slide our right hand forward as we slide the left leg back. Keep them in contact with the floor for a minute. Set your hips so they're square to the mat. The shoulders are square to the mat. Breathe in. As you exhale, float them up so that the hands come level with the shoulders. The foot comes level with the hips. Make sure you're spinning that thigh in so it stays in parallel, and reach and find that length in the whole body. Inhale in that long line, exhale, tap it down and slide it back in. Hips staying really nice and quiet, fingertips spread wide. Send the left hand forward, the right leg back. Exhale, float it up and hold. Inhale, feel the length from the fingertip to that toe, stretching it out in parallel. Exhale, lowering it down slowly with control, hips staying nice and quiet. And we shift back over to the left side. Slide it away. Lifting it up. My spine is not moving with this movement. Lowering it down and sliding it in. Back over to the left. Reach it out. Lift it up. Tap it down. Slide it in. Back over to the right. Reach and lengthen. And lift and hold. And we're going to pulse it here. So little baby pulse. Down and lift. 2 and lift. 3 and lift. 4. Lift. And now let's lower it all the way down. Keep that belly connected. Slide it in straight over to the left side. Spread your right fingers wide. Reach the left. Lift it up and hold. Find that length from the hand to the toe. Little lower and lift. 2 and lift. 2 more. Last one. And bring it down, tap the floor, slide it in. From there, push your hips back onto your heels. Reach your hands forward and just give your wrists a little bit of a break. If you need to, drop the elbows and do some gentle wrist circles either direction. Then when you're ready, stretch those fingers out, lift the elbows back up, push yourself forward again, and you should be directly back in your 4-point kneeling. If not, adjust your hands. This time you can come down onto your elbows if you'd like to. Have your hands parallel with the sides of your mat, and we're going to keep that belly pulled in, and we're just going to reach back on the right leg. We're going to lift it up to follow the line from our toe through our hip and all the way to our shoulders. So you might be a little bit lower, and that will depend on your glutes and your flexibility, but you want to try and create one long line from the toe all the way to the shoulders. And we're pushing those elbows into the floor to keep those shoulders retracted. A common tendency in our 4-point kneeling on our elbows is to sink in those shoulders and not keep that connection in the lower back. So keep that connection and keep that leg lifted. And we're still just breathing here. Now we're going to do little circles. So we're going to go up, out, down, and in. Up, out, down, and in. Up, out, down, and in. Last one. Up, out, down, and in. Now let's change direction. We're going down, out, up, and in. I forgot how to change direction. Down, out, up, and in. Down, out, up, and in. Last one. Down, out, up, and in. And then bring the toe to the floor. Slide the knee in. Push your hips back. Lift the elbows and come back into that little extended child's pose. And then just put your elbows down. Turn your wrists. Hands back down. Lift the elbows. Bring yourself back up onto your 4-point kneeling. And then drop your elbows. Slide them forward so they're directly into the shoulders. Adjust your feet. And come back. Make sure it's falling down. Come back into that comfortable 4-point kneeling on your elbows. We're going to slide the left leg back. Now squeeze the glute, keep the leg in parallel and lift it till you get that long line. Protract those shoulders and keep them away from the floor. We're holding it here and find that whole connection in the body. So don't sink into that right leg. It is perpendicular to the floor. Our hips are still square and level. So look back and check. Am I square and level? Is my leg perpendicular? Can I see my toe coming out the end of my left leg? Are my shoulders pulled away from the floor? And hold for 2 more seconds, and we're going to do our circles. So we're going to go up, out, down, and in. It's just a little baby circle. Out, down, and in. Protecting our lower back. Down and in. Last one. Up, out, down, and in. Change direction. Out, down, up, and in. I don't think I changed direction. Down, out, up, and in. Down, up, and in. My apologies. I don't know how to move in a circle. Last one. Up, and in, and then lower the toe down to the floor, and then slide the knee back in. Push yourself back into your extended child's pose. Stay here and breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. And we're going to come back up onto our 4-point kneeling on our hands. So hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Curl your toes under and then slide your right leg back. Find that whole connection through the back of that leg. And then slide the left leg back and come into our plank. Now from here, we're going to just bend the right knee. So bend the right knee, push it away. And again, right knee, push it away. Find our connection with our core. Push it away, last one. Push it away. Now the left, articulate through that foot. So you almost bring the top edge of the foot to the floor and then roll it back. Bring it in, roll it back. Bring it in. Roll it back, last one, in, and back. Now from here, we're gonna walk our feet. So right knee in, left knee in. We're staying on the toes now. So your hips will go up and down with the movement, but we're keeping those shoulders nice and wide, keeping that core connected and working through our plank. Keep pulling the belly in, 2, 1, straighten both legs, and bend your right knee. Bend the left and push yourself back. Stretch your hands forward. Stay and breathe into the waistline, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And now we're going to come down onto our belly. So you come back up onto your 4-point kneeling, slide your right leg back, come into that nice strong support position, send the left leg back, and then bend our elbows and bring our belly down to the floor. Open the feet out to either your mat distance or shoulder distance. Squeeze your glutes and laterally rotate your feet. So your heels are in, your toes are out. And we're just relaxing into the mat here for a minute. So our fingertips are going to be probably just outside of the edge of our mat if we've got a narrow mat. And our elbows follow the line of the mat. And we just stay here and breathe. Now we're going to set up our spine properly for our back extension. So we're going to squeeze the glutes and come into that posterior tilt. Now you should really activate those glutes, and as you did that, your lower belly or your belly button would have pulled away from the floor. Now we're going to turn our head so it hovers off the mat. And feel that length in the spine like we had in our cat-cow. So we're not extending up, we're lengthening, and our head pulls away from our ears. The glutes are still squeezed, the belly's connected, and our head is just floating. Now from there, float the hands and see if you can hold it there for 3, 2, 1. And lower down and turn your head to look to the left. Relax the glutes, relax the belly. And let's start that again. Squeeze the glutes, tilt the pelvis under, pull the belly button away from the floor, lengthen the spine, turn the head so it hovers, and pick up the hands. Pushing those big toes into the floor, the whole legs are engaged and active. And then lower yourself down and turn your head to the right. Stay and breathe, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's set ourselves up again. Squeeze the glutes, tuck the pelvis under, pull the belly away from the floor, turn the head so that it hovers off the floor and lengthen the spine. Now this time we're going to reach our hands forward. So pick them up, extend them out in front of you. Pull them back, reach them out, pull them back, reach them out. Keeping that back nice and long, keep the belly pulled away from the floor. Reach them out. Pull them back. We're not extending in the neck. We're just floating above the mat. Last one. Pull it back and then lower down and look to the left. Relax and release everything. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, and take another inhale. Turn, squeeze the glutes, pull the belly away from the floor, lift and lengthen the chest, float the hands up. We're going to reach forward this time and now turn the palms so the thumbs come down and sweep your hands back behind you and lift the chest even more. Push those big toes into the floor. Bend the elbows, bring the body back to neutral. Reach the hands forward. Exhale, squeeze and extend the spine so you lift the chest a little bit more. Bend the elbows. Reach, come back to your long Superman line. So you're one long neutral line here, pushing those feet into the floor. Exhale, thumbs come down, squeeze them back towards the hips. Bend the elbows, reach it forward, Exhale, squeeze it back. Bend the elbows, reach it forward, dive forward. Exhale, squeeze it back. One last one. Bend the elbows, reach it forward. Exhale, squeeze it back. Now bend the elbows, bring the body back to that neutral line, and then lower everything down. Look towards the right side, relax the whole body. Stay and breathe. Now let's squeeze those glutes, little posterior tilt. Lift and lengthen the spine, come to your neutral line. We're going to reach both arms out long in front of us. Now we're going to lift our right hand and squeeze the glute, lift the left leg. Stay and hold it here, and then drop it down. Lift the left and lift the right. So like our bird dog, keep pulling the belly away from the floor, keep squeezing those glutes, lower it down. Find that length in the spine as you lift up on the right and the left. And lower down. Last one on the left, lift and lengthen. Lower it down. Now we're going to lift up on that right again, lift the left leg, and we're going to swap. So we're going to pick up the pace. So we're going to switch and switch and switch and switch. That's it. So you're swimming. And switch. Keep the glutes connected. Keep that lower back protected by pulling those abdominals in. Lift, lift. And if this is too much for you, slow it down. Lift, lift, lift. Hold them both up and then exhale, lower down. Slide your hands back into your chest and push yourself back into a shell stretch. So like our child's pose, but this time we're pulling the belly away from the front of the thighs to get this nice rounding turtle shell shape in our back. Stay there and breathe. Inhale, exhale, roll your spine up till you're seated on your heels, and then we're going to come back into that 4-point kneeling. Good. Knees are under hips, hands under shoulders. We're going to reach our right hand out towards the side like a T. Then you're going to bend that left elbow and thread the needle. So the hand slides underneath the space between the hand and the knee, bringing the shoulder closer towards the floor. Inhale, breathe into that left rib cage. Exhale, push into the floor. Bring your body back square towards the mat, and then push and open the chest up towards the ceiling. Come back into that square position. Then lower the hand down to the mat. Let's go over to the left. Reach the left arm out to that square T. Thread the needle, bend the elbow, bring the shoulder towards the floor. Your hand goes between that space between the hand and the knee. Push into the floor, square the body in your T, and then push into the floor and open the chest to the opposite side of the room. Come back into your T and lower the hand. Let's do that one more time. Reach the right arm out, thread the needle. Keep the hips high and the shoulders low. Push into the floor, back to your T, and then open to your reverse twist. Back to your T, square the body, hips nice and still, lower the hand, open the other side. So my hips aren't moving with this movement. Then I bend the elbow and I drop my shoulders. Still my hips are staying parallel. Push into the floor. Now I'm going to get that twist in my hips. Back to the T. And lower the hand. Good job. Okay, from here, we're going to bring our left hand in towards the middle of our mat. And we're going to bring our right hand out to the side, slide our right leg back, and open the body out to a side position. Okay, so you should be fairly comfortable here. Your knee should be directly underneath the hip still. Your hand should be underneath the shoulder. If it isn't, adjust it and slide it in. Now, fingertips can either point towards the top corner, front corner of your mat, or straight up the middle of the mat. So that depends on your shoulder. However you angle it, obviously changes it for your individual shoulder girdle. We want to stack the hips on top of each other, stack the rib cage on top of each other, reach that top hand up. Now we're going to find our strength and our balance here, holding the belly in, and then we're going to float the top leg up and hold. Now, if that's too much for you, bring your elbow down and come into a modified. You'll have a little bit bigger base of support here, so you'll be able to hold it up a little bit better, okay? Otherwise, try and challenge yourself. Push your fingertips into the floor. Find that connection with the abdominals and the glutes, and reach and hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the foot down. Bring the body back facing towards the mat. Slide the knee in. Open the left hand out to the side. the right hand into the center of the mat. Turn your fingertips towards the front corner or perpendicular with the center of the mat, and slide the left leg out. Open the hip, open the chest, stack the body. You can keep that knee down if that's what you need to do today, or we can lift, lift that top leg and challenge our balance. If you're falling forwards, you've probably lost your glutes. If you're falling backwards, you've probably lost your abs. So try and find that balance. We're not moving, we're just balancing. Then lower the foot, square the body back towards the floor, slide the knee in, both hands under the shoulders, push your hips back to your heels, pull the body into that shell position. And then roll yourself up. Come back into our 4-point kneeling. Bring your left hand into the middle of the mat, slide the right leg back. Open back up to the side position. Now from here, you're going to pull your bottom heel back a little bit so that if you look with that opening in your hip, you can see your heel just beside the outside edge of your foot. Then we're going to pick up that top leg. From here, we're going to lower and lift. Lower it down, lift it up, lower and lift. Keep both sides of the waistline long and lift, lower and lift. You can have your hand on your hips if that's a bit easier for you. We've got one more, lower and lift, hold it up. And now we're going to pull the knee into the nose. So pull the nose and the knee in, grab onto it, reach it out, pull it in, reach it out, pull it in, reach it out. We've got one more, pull it in, and reach it out. Now we're going to hold 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now lower that top leg, find that connection on the inside edge of the foot, and I want you to try and pick up that bottom leg. Slide it back, coming into your full side plank and hold. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that knee back down again. And now we're going to lengthen our body up. So turn the toes so it points away from the body. And then using your top obliques, we're going to lift ourselves all the way up. So we're in an upright position with one leg extended out. Now if you're a guy and you're a bit tight in your hamstrings, or a girl, you might need to bend that knee. That's okay. Otherwise try and keep it straight and stretch through those adductors. Bring your right hand on top of your right leg, sweep your left hand up, and a gentle side bend to the right. And hold and breathe. And lengthen up. Bring the hand down, side bend to the left. Pulling those hips up towards the ceiling. And use your obliques. Pull yourself up, side bend to the right. And lengthen up, hand to the floor, side bend to the left. And lengthen up, good job. From there, pull the knee in, come back till you're facing the floor. I'm just going to turn around so I stay facing you. And we're going to do the other side. So back into your 4-point kneeling. Right hand comes into the middle of the mat. Turn your fingertips towards the top corner. If you know you need to do this on your elbows, come straight onto your elbow now. From there, slide the left leg back. Open the hip to your lateral rotation. Open the top hip. Stack your hips. Stack your shoulders. Reach the hand. Lift the leg and hold. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now lower the foot down. Pull the back foot back a little bit, or the bottom foot back a little bit so that you can open the hips a little bit more and lift that leg back up. Remember, you can have your hand on your hip if you need to, and we're going to lower and lift. So tap it down, lift it up, tap, and lift. Keep that belly glued in towards the spine. Hand is under the shoulder. Last 3, 2, 1. Lift it up. Now from there, bring that leg down, challenge your core, slide your right leg in to meet your left and hold. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that knee back down, find that connection with your top oblique, and lift yourself up. Remember, turn that thigh out, toes pointing away from you. The leg is either straight or bent. You can have it bent, that's totally okay. Okay? If that still doesn't feel comfortable for you, bring both knees together and do your side bends just with your knees like that. Otherwise, in that long line, and we're going to bend towards the left to start with. So left hand on the left thigh, flex it up and over. Lengthen up, bring the hand to the floor, flex it up and lengthen. Use the oblique, carry it up and over, lengthen up, come down, lengthen up and over and all the way up, bend the knee. Good. From here, we're going to bring ourselves onto our bum. Legs are going to come out in front of us. And we're going to point our toes and push them into the floor. Slide our hands back so our fingertips face either towards our hips or out to the sides. If they're out to the sides, make sure that they're wider than your shoulders. If they're in at your hips, make sure they're in line with your shoulders. Pull the chest forward, find that nice connection in the back, and then pull the rib cage down. Get your spine in a nice neutral, slide the feet away, and then squeeze the glutes and lift the hips. Look down the front line of your body towards your toes. From here, just stay and breathe, rolling those shoulders down and back. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower the hips. Flex the ankles, reach the hands up overhead, hinge the body forward till you can't hinge anymore, and then come into a forward fold. Try and bring the elbows towards the floor. As you exhale, just come deeper with every exhale. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, come deeper. Take one more inhale, and as you exhale, pick the hands up, roll the spine, and stack the spine back, seated on your sit bones, nice and tall. If you need to, you can bend your knees here. We're going to do articulation with a twist. So if you know you can't sit up tall, you can't sit up tall on top of your sit bones with your legs straight, then by all means bend the knees. We're going to reach the arms up overhead, twist towards the right, and then curl the body forward and reach the hands to the outside edge of that right foot. Your left hand is going to open out to your T with your palm facing, or your thumb facing down, your palm facing back. So your front hand, your left hand, your palm is facing forward. Your right hand, your palm is facing back. We're going to stretch those arms away from each other. So we're not just simply reaching the arm back, it's stretching. Open that front of the chest and twist. Push into the outside edge of your knee, your calf, your ankle, wherever you are. If your knees are bent, that's okay as well. And feel that nice opening in the chest and in the shoulder. Then we're going to exhale, curl the spine back up, turn the thumb back up towards the ceiling, reach the palms up overhead and come back into center. Let's twist to the left now. Open the hands out, reach the right pinky, palm faces away from the foot. The left thumb goes down. Open and stretch those shoulders away from each other. Don't just collapse forward. Reach, stretch. If you need to, bend your knees. Find that nice twist. And then stack the body up. Turn both thumbs up towards the ceiling. Hands come up overhead and into center. Bring your hands down. Pick up on the back of your knees. Feet are hip distance. We're going to keep a nice long bend in the knees here. And we're going to sit up nice and tall on our sit bones. Holding onto the back of our knees, then we're going to curl just behind those sit bones. So this is bringing that awareness to our posterior tilt. So today we focused a lot on that posterior tilt and in our shoulder placement. We're keeping those shoulders down and back in a neutral position, and we're holding in this tuck position. You should be able to lift your hands and hold it there. This is the position we're in when we do Russian twists, when we do obliques, okay? It's this little tilt or tuck position. We always want to be wide across the collarbone, which is why I say if you hold onto the back of your knees, drive those elbows out wide to the side. Now from here, we're going to pull the right elbow, turn your palms to face the floor and pull the right elbow back. Bend that elbow back to 90 degrees and then reach your left hand out over your left knee. Hold it there and then rotate back towards the front, reach both hands over your knees. Pull the left elbow back, reach the right hand over the right knee and stay in twist. holding it there, and back into center. We're going to do one more to the right. Pull it back and hold, and breathe, and back to center, and to the left, and hold, and breathe, and into center. Grab onto the back of your knees, and pull yourself up. Bring your chest towards your thighs. Just forward fold over the front of your thighs. Stay and breathe. Now while you're breathing here, focus on that lateral three-dimensional breath. I want you to feel like the sides of your rib cages are expanding out and up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, feel like you're going to sink in between your thighs because your ribs are drawn together so tightly. Inhale, expand the rib cage. Exhale, draw it in. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. And then we're going to inhale and roll our spine back up, stacking the spine. Bring the soles of your feet together and drop the knees out to the side. Gentle little butterfly stretch. Now from here, bring your elbows towards the front of your thighs. Push your chest into the diamond. Stay and breathe. And exhale, lengthen up. Bring those knees closed. Open the feet back to hip distance, and we're going to roll ourselves down. So arms back overhead. The angle of the knee is a little bit shallower now. We're going to exhale, come back behind those sit bones. Keep your hands parallel to the floor the whole time. Come back onto the sacrum. Top of the pelvis hits the floor, lower back hits the floor, the rib cage is lifted. And then roll the body all the way down. Exhale, flex back up, just the thoracic spine. Lower back is on the floor, bottom of the rib cage is on the floor. Peel the rib cage away, sacrum is on the floor. Pull the sacrum away, back of the sit bones. Lengthen all the way up. Let's do that again. Behind the sit bones. Onto the pelvis. Lower back, all the way down. Lift it up. Lower back is on the ground. Lower back peels away. Behind the sit bones. All the way up. Grab on the front of your knees. Pull the chest forward. Lengthen through the spine. And now we're just going to drop the right knee out to the right side. Drop the left knee into the right side. And then slide the legs open so you come into your mermaid seated position. Your right foot is resting somewhere around your left knee. Your left heel is somewhere around your left glute. And we're going to try and push that left sit bone down into the ground. Your right knee might lift, and that's totally okay. Just try and get your hips level and square. If that doesn't feel comfortable for you, prop yourself up on a block, okay, so that you can get this nice opening in the hips. Reach the arms up overhead, and we're going to rotate towards the right. And then begin to bring the body forward. So that left sit bone is coming up. We're flying here. Hold it here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the hands and come into a forward fold. Stay and breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. And now we're going to sweep the hands around into the center. And come into that forward fold, stretching into the hip. Inhale and exhale. Now take an inhale as you exhale. Roll the spine up, take the hands with you. Lengthen all the way up overhead. Now twist to the left side. Hinge the body forward. This time you want to really push that right hip down so you get this nice long line all the way down your body. And then bring the hands down and forward fold. So this you should feel in your QL, your quadratus lumborum muscle, which is right above the top of your hip bones going in towards the midline of your spine on your right side. If you don't feel it, try and twist a little bit more towards the left side. Pushing that right hip and right knee down and away from your left side. And then come into center. Inhale, exhale, roll it up. Keep those hands aligned with the ears, stack the spine, bring the arms down. Now let's pick up those knees and swivel them over to the other side. So your left leg is on the bottom, your left foot is towards your right knee, your right heel is in towards your bum, and then push that right hip down. So you might need to pull your heel in closer towards your bum in order to get that hip down, okay, and not hurt the knee. You might need to prop up the left sit bone. From here, we're going to lift up the hands. Inhale. Exhale, twist towards the left knee. Hinge the body forward. Open that hip, lift the sit bone now, come into that long line and hold. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the hands, stretch it forward. Stay and breathe. And then come into center. Stretch it forward. Breathing into that left glute. And then over to the right. And find that QL stretch. Pull the hand over towards the side. Stay and breathe. And then back into center. And lengthen up, bringing the hands with you. Now turn to the right. Hinge. Bring the hands down and stretch. And then into center. And then roll it up. Hands out wide to the side, and that's what you've done for today. So we worked quite a bit on focusing on our shoulder placement and our pelvic placement. Both of those things are super important when we're in our planks. Well, basically they're important for all of our anatomical movements, but especially when we're in our planks, a lot of people, and in our 4-point kneelings, we lose that connection with the shoulders. And it's really important to keep thinking about pulling those shoulders down and back and away from each other, and make sure they're not popping away from the rib cage or from the thoracic wall, or they're not collapsing in. And that just gives you that stability through the shoulder girdle to enable you to get stronger in your side planks, your normal planks, your push-ups. Also, how to have that lower back placement connected, so when you're doing your abdominals, when you're doing your push-ups, that you can stay strong and not injure yourself. So I hope you enjoyed that today, and I'll see you again.